just gonna move over here, see if I can pick up some better connection. Am I coming in clear? Let me know, guys, if I'm coming in clear. All right, hi everybody. Thanks for joining. Let me know if the video messes up at any moment. Okay, so basically, for those who don't know, I go by the name of Positivity. And I want to welcome you guys back to Positivity 123 and Friends, where my goal is to introduce you to amazing people that are doing good in their communities and just making an effort for change. Today we have a special guest. We'll be joined by Carrie, that's at divine__radiance. It's at the bottom. It's the pinned comment where you can actually go ahead and follow her right now. And she's all about energy therapy, healing, and spreading love and empowerment. And that's one of the things that got me interested in her page. So basically, I just loved her page from jump. I automatically started following her and basically just trying to pretty much just do everything I can to just let her know that she's appreciated. And so I'm just going to go ahead and bring her on. Let me go ahead and add her 1 second. And y'all let me know in the comments if anything is cut off. Hi.
How are you?
Look at you, all beautiful. I love your pictures. You are so pretty.
Oh, thank you. I
Can you see
appreciate
me
it.
okay?
Yes.
Okay, and you hear me, right? Because I can hear you fine.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I just want to thank everybody for coming into the room. We have Miss Mary Malkin in the room. Hi. All right, now I'm hearing an echo. I don't know why. Do you hear echo? You can?
No.
All right, so let's
Do you
get
hear?
into it, everybody. Thank you, the Crystal Stewart 108. You got some followers up in here repping for you. So I just want you to introduce yourself. For some people, they may not know you. They may not have been following you like I have. Just introduce yourself, what your page is about, and just a little bit about you, you know?
Yeah. So my name is Carrie Donovan. I started a company called Divine Radiance, which is all about energy healing, crystal healing, transformation advice, and really what it boils down to, it, like you had said earlier, empowerment and love. Basically, that's what it comes down to. I went through a healing journey myself. I had a lot of childhood trauma that I did not deal with most of my life, and I just lived with it. And then one day, I realized I was worth healing. I was worth saving. So I went on a healing journey. I took about almost a year of therapy, 12-step program, just really learning to love myself and accept myself. And at the end of the year, I was rewarded with the gift I discovered, which was that I was a healer.
Okay.
And that going through the journey I went through, I meant to help other people go through that journey and come out the other side, as I would like to say, like a butterfly, you know, go through the transformation process. And I'm just there to support my clients in any way that they need to. And then I started the page just to try to spread more love and empowerment to other people.
Definitely. And you are doing that for sure. How important do you think it is to become conscious of your thoughts? I always talk about that on my page. You know, I'm all about positive thoughts and being able to stop the negative thoughts if possible in their tracks and switch them around, because I believe that everything you think, say, and feel can actually become your reality. How do you feel about that?
Oh my God, 100%. Your thoughts are energy, and they have a big impact in the world. And so, especially in your internal being, but I saw a study where thoughts of people across the room can be harmful.
Yes.
And you would, yeah. So thoughts are incredibly powerful. We had talked a little bit about frequency, but they have a frequency.
Okay.
So if you are feeling hope and faith and gratitude, your whole body is going to entrain to that frequency. But the
Mm,
opposite is true too. So if you're thinking and if you're in a negative spiral, your body is going to actually start resonating with that negativity, and
hmm.
then things get out of whack, and that's where problems start happening.
Okay. So, how long have you been doing this? About how long would you
Um,
say?
about a year.
A year? And do you
Hmm.
feel that it's made a really, really difference in your life as well, helping others?
Yeah. Every time I do a healing session, I feel like I've healed myself a little bit. um, yeah, everything we give, we get back.
Mm,
So,
I like
the
that.
more we give out positive and we give out love, the more love and positivity we get back. And same works in the reverse,
I
you
like that.
know?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I believe that we have to give what we would like to have to others. So if you're one of those people where you feel like, oh, I want to have, someone that treats me right, well, you have to treat others right, right? It all starts with you and what you're
And
doing.
treating yourself right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah. Self-care is yes. Talk about that all the time, and I know that's something that you touch on your page as well. And that's why, like I said, we just clicked when I saw your page, and I love your energy, and I'm just all about the good vibes. What about um, eliminating toxins from the body and just trying to purify yourself by what you put into your body? How important is that? Would you say?
I would say just as important as the thoughts. Because food also has a frequency. Everything has a frequency.
Yeah.
Anything that's made out of an atom has a frequency. And so our food has energy. So if we're putting in toxic food into our body, which is most of the food that's out there right now, it's going to have a negative impact. Now,
Yeah.
that being said, I know a lot of people who eat a lot of junk food and nothing happens, right? And people who are really healthy can still have some health issues. But I do think it comes down to the self-care. And so by choosing healthier foods that will fuel the body
Hmm.
is a reflection of self-love.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then has a very powerful ongoing effect.
Yeah, and I know so many people that say to me that they just can't drink water. They don't like the taste of it. I'm like, well, you might not like the taste of it, but if you know that something's healthy for you, right? You have to put yourself in that mindset that, hey, I want to do what's best for my body. And just stop thinking about what you personally don't like because of maybe the way that it tastes or maybe the way that it looks. I think food and what you drink and what you put into your body really alters sometimes how you feel during the day and the night. It alters your mood. Some people are a lot more cranky if they're eating, messed up. And I've experienced people where when they change their diet, they just become happier individuals.
Oh, without a doubt. And I do. And I also feel that when I'm in a good place,
Hmm.
I want to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Really, I just want to eat to fill my body and fulfill my nutrients. But when I'm in a bad place and if I'm down, that's when you kind of crave that low frequency food. Um, it's almost like you just keep perpetuating the negative in that way. And I always say it's when you really are craving that to try to go to the healthier choice for sure.
Absolutely. The Crystal Stewart 108 says the more aligned we are, the more likely we will be attracted to food that is beneficial.
Mm. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I agree.
A hundred.
I grew up with a very unhealthy lifestyle, and my parents they bought this sugary cereal. We had soda in our house all the time. I had macaroni and cheese, like the box kind, like every day.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember as I was, entering into my 20s, I wanted to learn more about healthy food, but I didn't want it to be a chore. And I
Yeah.
remember actually down in my goal book that I want to like healthy foods. I want to enjoy healthy foods. I would actually write that down.
Hmm.
And in no time, I actually prefer healthy foods. Like I like going to those organic restaurants and ordering, and having mostly vegetables on my plate.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy that now. So it was something a goal I made for myself. So if you don't eat healthy, I would say make a goal to
Hmm.
actually like it, or just to really explore foods because
Definitely. I agree because if you can do it, anybody can do it. That's what I say.
yes, yes.
And I also wanted to touch on meditation. Okay, I had a guy on here where we basically talked about meditation and we talked about mindfulness. Really, really, really smart, intelligent guy, Matt Alfonso, and basically we were talking about how meditation can actually raise your frequency and get you feeling a lot better, take away some of those low vibration and energies. Do you practice meditation currently, or do you have any insight on why it does so good, to
Um,
meditate?
I actually account that for meditation to have the most transformative action in my healing, more so than anything, more so than therapy, more so than anything else. And I tell all my friends, they all know. I meditate twice a day, at
Hmm.
least 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. Um, I do chanting and I do transcendental meditation.
Okay.
Um, it was
Good.
Dr. Joe Dispenza who the book that really helped me because I would practice meditation, but it was very I sometimes call it surface level meditation, meaning you're just quieting the mind, which is great. I'm not anything against it, but he got me to the level of the transcendental and
Okay.
to that level of having, connecting with the spirit realm and that sort of thing. But I think the benefits of it are, he goes into it in his book. Basically, when you disconnect from the mind and the chatter, your body can go into this automatic state where it can self-heal. And because you're not thinking, we kind of weigh our body down with all of the things we're doing. So just by taking that time and just connecting with our breath and connecting deep inside of us, it allows the physical body to heal. So
Gotcha.
it has the healing ability, but I think it's also calming. Like I don't get upset. I don't, you know, get angry as often. And that was one of my major issues is anger. So yeah, I think it helps you emotionally and then of course spiritually.
Yes,
If you
yes.
do believe in, a higher power, your higher self, your angels and guides, it's a great way to connect with that. And I think it gives a lot of solace and a lot of peace in your heart.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I love the fact that with meditation, you can, like, I was taught, like, there's really no wrong way to do it. And
Hmm.
everybody can meditate. A lot of people think that they have to be, free of any single thought for like 30 plus minutes, and that's not the case. That's not the
Nope.
case at all. And there's no wrong way to bring your body peace by meditation. I think everybody should look into practicing meditation at least twice a week if you're starting off. And I just think that overall, there are certain steps to raise your frequency naturally. And one of the other steps is gratitude, because I talk
Hmm.
a lot on my page about how important it is to not talk and stress about things that you don't have and be appreciative of the things that you do have, right? Because
Yeah.
in your
Hmm.
mind, if you're only focusing on the bad things, then that's what's going to happen because you're not even appreciative of what's happening in your life at the current moment. What do you think about
Yeah.
gratitude? Talk to us about that.
Oh my gosh, gratitude is very important. So it's one of the highest frequency emotions that you can have. So when we talk about frequency, and then the frequency has the ability to attract other things of that frequency.
Yes.
So if you're in a state of gratitude, you're more likely to attract things that you want, ironically. But if you're in the space of wanting something, like if you see someone drive by in a car and you're more jealous of them that they have the car, rather than accepting your ability to maybe manifest that car later,
Yeah.
that is going to push the car far away. It's going to put you in a very low frequency state. So wanting is low, obviously hate, fear, those type of emotions are low frequency, and then you're going to keep attracting those type of frequencies and really not get what you end up wanting.
Okay. And would you say that forgiving is one of the most powerful ways to change some of those low vibrations that we have within ourselves, because we're holding a lot in and, just have a lot of blame and guilt and stuff?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to self-forgiveness. Really, when it comes down. Yeah, well, I mean, you want to forgive others, but it always comes back to you. And it's harder to forgive yourself usually than others, but it has a very transformative effect on the soul, really, because when you start releasing those burdens that you're actually carrying around, guilt is it's just another one of those low vibration. You actually carry guilt in your second chakra, and it keeps the energy stuck there. So shame as well. So shame, guilt, any of those things, if you don't let them go, they're going to keep you from evolving, because the energy isn't flowing through that part of your body. And that's, as an energy healer, that's what I do, is I try to get that energy flowing. So evolution can happen, then the life force can work through you. When they talk about alignment, that's when all your chakras are open, clear, balanced, and you live in that flow state. And we all have been there at one point, and that's when everything good goes our way, because we're operating in this high frequency. Our body's operating in a wonderful way. Our energy is flowing, and we just keep attracting really good things into our life.
Right. Mary says, Mary Malkin says, what you focus on expands. And HB Max says, clear your mind, calm your spirit, and be at peace. Thank you so much for that, guys. I also, I've read up on your heart, your heart chakras, your throat chakras, things like that, and making sure that you are going about your daily basis of trying to be the best person that you can be, right, on a daily basis, and making sure that you are learning from things that's happening, experiences in your life, because I do believe that you can release negative frequencies. I'm not an expert on how to do that, but I just know that you can, and you don't have to walk around feeling any type of guilt or shame. And as you said, that forgiving ourselves, we're always hard on ourselves, right? We're always the hardest on ourselves for whatever reason. And that's where self-care and self-love comes in, because you want to treat yourself just as good as you're treating the person that you're treating the best in your world. So you want to treat yourself even better. Now, about your page, I see that you've been on since about May this year. What made you start your Instagram page, and why did you choose Instagram versus like Facebook or Twitter? Like, is Instagram your main social media page?
It is, yeah. I actually am not a fan of Facebook. I do have a page on Facebook, but it's mostly what I post on Instagram. It just carries over.
Okay.
I feel Instagram is just a more positive one. I like how you can choose. Right. I feel like I go on Facebook, I get so frustrated. I want to just see my cousin's kids, but I end up, it's all political stuff and people arguing, and I'm just like, I get all riled up.
It's too much.
But Instagram, you follow who you follow the inspiration ones. I don't follow any beauty. I don't follow anything that makes me feel bad about myself or makes me feel less than. I think that's so important. I tell my daughter that. Don't follow the beautiful people, the super rich people, unless they're doing something inspiring that you can do. I don't think people should be revered for their genetic makeup and or even how much plastic surgery they've had, or, I just feel like as a society, it would be nice to move away from that and move into more inspiring people who are more beautiful on the inside, so that we can all raise our collective frequency and not get bogged down with trying to be someone that we're not, you
Yes,
know?
definitely. I tell people the same exact thing. When you're opening up your social media page, you know, you want to be hit with inspiration and motivation, and you want to
Hmm.
see things that reflect on how you want to feel. I don't want to read anything that's damaging to my psyche. Um, I only
Right.
follow people that I deem to be inspirational people that I can actually learn from, which is why I
Hmm.
started the page. Because what I do is I just share people that influence me to my followers, because that's the only way that we're going to learn, grow, and make change. Because conversation like this, basically putting you on the page will let people know, hey, she's into healing, she's into higher energy, higher frequency, and other people can come to your page and just learn more and more and more. So that's just pretty much what I use Instagram for. I don't use it for gossip or following the new trends or anything like that, such as what you said, as far as following people that don't make you feel good. All right. So, what about stress? What I mean by stress, because you said on your page, emotional and spiritual stresses or diseases are the root causes of all physical illness. Now, some people may not know, just because they might not look into it, but basically stress wreaks havoc on the body and your mind, and stress influences like disease and all type of diseases. It can. So basically
Hmm.
what they found is that stress is associated with the body losing its ability to regulate the inflammatory response, right? And so it can promote and develop progression of diseases because it's not regulating the inflammation. So I like that about your page, because you're teaching people that you, number one, you don't want to cause this type of emotional stress and damage to your body, because although you think you're just dwelling on an incident that happened years ago, it really can hurt you more than that.
Oh my God, absolutely. And if anyone out there hasn't watched the documentary Heal, Heal on Netflix, I highly recommend it.
Oh my
They talk
gosh,
about
I'm gonna
how
watch it
stress,
tonight.
yeah, stress. They talk about how, you know, back in the caveman days, you'd get chased by a saber-toothed tiger, and so your body would go into this mode, this adrenaline mode, and it would kick in, and you'd be able to use all of your energy up so that you could escape from the tiger. Well, the stress in our modern day is just as effective. Our body doesn't know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and just not being able to pay our bills at the end of the month. So that stress where our bodies are constantly in this state of fight or flight, and it shuts down our immune system. And
Yes.
that's why, I mean, there's so many you would today. I mean, how many people that you know have some sort of illness
Mm-hmm.
or, cancer? I think I know 4 or 5 people who have it right now. And then, just autoimmune diseases and all sorts of things. I mean, it's
Yes.
more common than not, you
Mm.
know, and
Yeah.
they say it has to do with stress
Yes.
and anxiety. And I have to say that that was one of the things I suffered with before my healing is I suffered from extreme anxiety. I mean, major panic attacks where I had to go call 911, go to the hospital, had to be on medication. But healing and then meditation, I haven't had any anxiety in over a year, which
Oh
just
goodness.
speaks to the power of healing because it had a hold on me big time, and that's one of the I mean, a lot of reasons why I want to help other people with their journey is that they might not be able to have to take medications, and
Right.
I'm not making a promise, but that is a possibility
Right. There could
that
be
when
an
you heal
alternate
these
way.
emotional stressors of your life, you can actually start, healing some of the physical as well.
Absolutely. I know so many people that have went a holistic route, and
Mhm.
they started doing more things for their body and meditating and just going through just ways of naturally healing themselves opposed to taking pills because they just didn't believe in taking pills for that type of issue. But I know several people on my page that experience anxiety and panic attacks, and I know it can be a very scary thing. So I'm glad that you have gone this long without having that having that episode. I know it's a very difficult thing to go through. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. I know you didn't have to, but that just lets us know that, hey, you know, you are able to understand it even more for the person that you're actually helping because you went through those type of things and you know exactly how it feels. So that's important when you're teaching. So we appreciate that. um, Love is one of the highest vibrating states. Is it hard to attune your heart to love, and you know, just having that overwhelm, how, you know, having your heart open? Is it hard for most people to do that, or what makes you think that what is the reason why you think some people are I guess kind of like not capable of showing love?
Yeah, love is really hard, is very complicated. Interestingly enough, deep down, we are all just pure love. But we're born into this world that I think takes our power away. It makes it harder to love, you know, especially like I said, when they had childhood trauma and you weren't loved and adored as a child. It's really hard to really know what love is if you're
Okay,
not raised in a loving environment.
gotcha.
And so, and I think what it comes down to is self-love. I honestly don't think you can truly love other people unless you
Love
truly love
yourself.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know? And the self-love journey is a big part for me. It was, you know, looking in the mirror and not looking at the things you didn't like.
Mm.
You know, that was something in my brain that like I would look and be like, oh my God, I have this wrinkle, or I have this, I have that. I would just, it was always focused on the negative. But then interestingly enough, I'd find that when I was out in the world, I would also pick out the negative that I saw in other people.
Okay.
And so how I changed that was I started changing it in both directions. So
Okay.
whenever I meet somebody, I look for what I love about them.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
only, my brain now, it took a long time,
it's a
but
reflection.
I retrained it. And now I can look in the mirror and be happy with what I see. You know, I don't just think about what I don't like anymore. And that's part of the love, and then truly loving the people around you, even if they're a stranger. I don't, it doesn't matter to me. Like I just love people. I love
Yeah.
all people. And I try to put that energy out, and then you get it back. The more you give out, the more you give back. But it's hard if you have the trauma. The love part is just really hard because you weren't raised with it, or you got your heart broken. But that's when the healing journey is very beneficial, because you go in and you start building the love for yourself, which is the same as building a relationship with someone else. There's discipline involved. Um, there's, you know, nurturing. You got to take care of yourself. You got to rest when you need to rest. You eat healthy foods. You sleep well. Um,
And
all
that's
of
my
those things.
problem. I don't
But
sleep well.
oh, you don't? A
I
lot of
stay
adults
up.
do.
I stay up, especially because I'm working from home now because of the pandemic. I stay up late and I get up and then I go back to sleep. My hours are all over the place. Sorry about that. My hours are all over the place as far as when I go to bed. So it's just really draining on me. I know that is, you know, everybody says that that's something that I need to fix. Like,
Well, we should do a session because all my clients sleep so well after a session. Because I can do distance healing. So I've been doing a lot of distance healing during the pandemic.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
I'm gonna check you
it's
out.
very, very calming, very, because like a lot of it's just stagnant energy that just
Hmm.
needs to be kind of moved around.
Yeah, I agree. And what you touched on, I didn't mean to cut you off because I know you were still talking, and I didn't mean to do that. But I was going to piggyback on what you said about how people say, well, they weren't brought up with love, and that's what makes it hard for them to give love. And I've met several people that and I can't speak to that because I had a pretty good childhood growing up, but it's people that had some bad childhood experiences and trauma, and they feel like they can't break that generational curse that they feel that they have. And instead of actually healing and going to someone like you, it's like they're perpetuating the same type of thing on other people.
Oh yeah, it's most all that stuff is generational, and it's past alcoholism, family dysfunction. You can't help it. I mean, my father was an alcoholic. My mom ended up being an alcoholic later in life, but all four of my grandparents, and then their parents. I mean, it just goes back, and so I had to make a decision, and
Yeah.
I didn't have. I wasn't an alcoholic, and I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh, hey, I'm not. But I found other addictions. There's a lot of other addictions that sneak up on you. So yeah, it will find you one way or the other. So taking the time to heal it's very powerful. And then I'm hoping I save my daughter from. I'm stopping that from perpetuating. That's the idea, and that's how powerful the healing is, and that's how you can really change for other people, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. And that's what it's all about. Just making those steps to change. Nobody's saying it's going to be an overnight thing because it takes time to change. You figure you've been like this for some odd years. It's not going to happen in one night because, hey, you're telling yourself that it's going to happen. You have to continually make changes, and you have to continually take the steps and continue to talk that self-love and self what is it? Self-love, self-care to yourself, because I know, like you were saying, it's easy to look in the mirror and look at some of the things that you're unhappy with about yourself. But I tell you what, if you take the day and write 3 things positive about yourself, and you repeat it to yourself the morning, afternoon, and night, it's going to change your whole outlook about how you feel about yourself. Just
Oh my
by
God.
doing that, just by doing those little things, and it could be the same thing of you just keep repeating it to yourself, because eventually you're going to start to believe it, which you should already, but some people have a hard
Yeah,
time doing it.
it's really hard. It's is the one that's going to have the most reward in the end is by doing the work. Like I told you, I lived with
Yes.
the consequences of not healing for so long. Why did it take me this long in my life to say, hey, I'm worth it to heal? It's a big step. It's a big decision. But I
Yeah.
think that's a key word is decision. Is you can decide. There's a lot of power in a decision. And so just like even today, you could say, you know what? Maybe I won't be healed by tomorrow, but I'm deciding today that I'm going to heal and I am going to become the best version of myself. There's actually a quote from Debbie Ford who I really like that I wrote down, and it's give yourself permission to transform into the greatest expression of you.
Love
And
it.
I think that's so beautiful because you're not trying to be someone else. You
Yes.
aren't trying to change yourself or make yourself different. You're just trying to be the best expression of you. And I think that's so beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
so powerful because it's in all of our control. And I always say, focus on what you can control. Because when you focus on things you can't control, you get stressed, you
Stress.
get irritated, you get angry. And there's a lot of things in this world we can't control, but people tend to focus on. But
Mm-hmm.
if you focus on yourself, that's 100% in your control. Working on your frequency, working on healing the trauma, releasing pent up emotions. Feeling that
Excellent.
is so powerful, and you'll be rewarded for the rest of your life. And then those around you will be rewarded. I said in my post about this that, by changing yourself, you can change the world
Yes.
because, once you start healing, you'll be amazed because everyone around you all of a sudden will be like, wait, what are you doing? What they notice something different about you.
Yep.
And they'll start asking. And then sure enough, I see all of my friends now are meditating and doing the work. Do you lose people? Yeah,
Yep.
sometimes you
But
do.
those are people
Your frequency.
that's not supposed to be there anyway.
Exactly. And that's okay. And it's not your job to make them or force them. They're on their own timeline. But you'll notice the people around you start. And then, of course, the people around them will start healing and raising their vibration. And that's really how we can change the world not by focusing on the things we can't control and just putting out more anger. It's about putting out more love internally, love externally.
Absolutely. You said a whole mouthful with that. I'm glad we got this on tape. Now, listen, you said on your page, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. That was one of your posts you put on your page. There we are talking about a choice. We're talking about a decision of you making the best out of you and your life. So, pretty much your page, you're pretty active on your page, and everything that you post on your page is uplifting. Everything on your page is really uplifting. Guys, if you're not following right now, go ahead and follow Carrie. It's at divine__ radiance. You will not regret it at all. She's very, very smart, very beautiful woman. She's, very gifted, and she doesn't mind sharing her knowledge. And, that's one of the ways, like you said, you're going to change the world, because you're starting with yourself. Then you start with the people around you. Then you start with your community. And then look at you. You're talking to me. I'm all the way in Baltimore, Maryland. Where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in Calabasas, California, just north of LA.
Kardashians.
I am. Not in their community, though. Not in their community.
All right. Now,
that's funny that you do that.
Yes, I watch Kardashians, and so I know that they're in Calabasas. I hear that a lot. So I know you have a plant behind you, right? How important is nature when it comes to our energy? How important is it for us to get outside and, put our feet on the soil and, grounding and just getting in the sun and just being around nature?
My God, it's so important. It's all about frequency again. So, plants give off a frequency, a very positive, uplifting frequency. So then just think about it. In your house is one thing, but when you walk out and you're surrounded by it, it's automatically going to lift you up. And it also just takes you away from your regular life. It takes you away from stress or anything else. You can honestly just be and experience. And they did a study by the ocean. I didn't know that, but something about the salt crashing into the earth that's in the water creates a very, very high frequency, one of the highest in nature. And that's why people love being by the water.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's why people feel so comforted and happy, is that the frequency is so high right there by the water. So that is a good way if you're feeling down. I always say one of the easiest ways to raise your frequency is just get out. Go be by some trees, go for a hike, walk in a park, or go by the ocean or a lake or anything like that.
Yeah, because a few minutes outside in nature, it can really, really completely shift your mood. And that's why you hear a lot of people, and it's not just for no reason. You hear a lot of people when they get stressed out, I'm going to go for a walk. You hear them all the time. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go outside and cool off. I'm going to go outside for a walk. And the reason that they do that is because when you go outside, like you said, it's the trees. It's the air that you're able to breathe into your lungs. You're walking, you're moving, you're getting blood flow going. All that other stuff helps your frequency out and help you to, if you're upset, at least lower down some of those emotions that you're feeling.
Yeah, and get you back into that high frequency state. Like I said, that's pretty much what we can control. And, I'm just more aware of it now. Like I try to be aware. Not that you're not going to have bad days or different things, but there's a different energy. Like sometimes you just need to rest. But if you're resting and you're feeling guilty about resting, then that's a low frequency. You can rest and be tired and still be grateful and do it out of self-love. And when you think of it more out of self-love, you have a high frequency, even when you're being lazy. And those type of tweaks are things I talk to my clients about because they're very impactful. And those are things we just automatically do, but we want to start getting out of being on automatic pilot. And that's another thing that energy healing can help you do, is because so much of past trauma or built up emotions just perpetuate this, the negativity. So and it is just kind of automatic where these things just keep happening and you're reacting in a certain way. And once you start realizing, wait, I can change my reaction, which is going to change my whole internal life. You're going to be, you had said that about thoughts earlier.
Right.
And if you knew how, there's quotes about thoughts, if you knew how powerful a
Oh,
thought was, you would never think a negative thought again, right? That
it's
someone
so
said that, and
positive.
it's
Yes.
true.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's going to happen, right? We just have to, like you said, retrain ourselves to, once we start going down that path, to reframe and start thinking about these things, and always think about them in terms of love or gratitude. Those are the easiest ones.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it out of love, either self-love or doing it for love for somebody else, or just being grateful for everything you have, and
Mm-hmm.
not being in that state of want, I think, are two of the probably the easiest things
Yep.
in your everyday, like going through your life, that you
I
can
agree.
do.
I mean, I think, like you said, the gratitude and the love is one of the top things, because once you start to experience that awareness and appreciation for the little things, it really opens your heart up, and it opens your heart up for yourself, your understanding, and what's going on in your situation and for others. So the fact that, like, you stepped, yeah, you talked about, oh, I love strangers. A lot of people can't bring themselves to even have that type of love, because they don't have that immense love for themselves. So that's good that you found that. Can you give us any of your maybe tips, as far as, not tips, but I guess your suggestions? Do you have any high vibe music that you suggest, any TV, books, or movies, or anything like that people can watch to get this? I know you mentioned the one on Netflix. We're going to check that one out. Just for people that's coming in to the live, we got 120 people who's fluctuating. But tell people again one more time that video on Netflix that you want us to watch.
Heal, Heal. It's a documentary on Netflix, just about how powerful you are. We talked about empowerment, but we are so much more powerful than we give us credit for. I mean, the whole system is designed to make us feel powerless, but we aren't. And our bodies are fully capable of self-healing. Even our bones are able to regenerate themselves. Our organs are able to. There's no doubt about that. It's just, it needs to be in the right environment. And the right environment is positive, enlightening energy, a high frequency. And like the meditation that we talked about, when you kind of let the mind go, the body can just do what it needs to do. And when you eat healthy food, that's another, we talked about it a little bit, but it really bogs down your system, because when you're eating, say, a processed piece of something that doesn't have, your body's really trying to find the nutrients, and it takes up a lot of energy, because it's literally like thrifting through trash, trying to pick out nutrients. So when you give yourself healthy food, your body can just, when it's whole foods, when it's, good for you, your body can just process it, and it gives you so much more energy, because it's not taking energy to process it. So I would say eating really good food, watching documentaries over shows, I would say too. A lot of they call it programming, for TV. It's meant to, it's a little brainwashing in a way, and it can make us feel not good about ourselves, right? Because people live in these beautiful houses, or they have, there's these perfect people. They're not really designed to uplift you, but a lot of times with documentaries, it can be really uplifting. And reading. I say the library is everyone's best friend. If you don't have a library card, like, go get one. You have the whole world of books for free. And right now, even with COVID, I just order all my books online, and they get sent to my, and you can learn about whatever you want to learn about.
Now, what if to me, now I'm not saying I don't like to read or anything like that. I don't want y'all to say that. But I think I listen better, like hearing it in audiobooks, like a little bit, to me, a little bit more, it sticks a little bit more versus me actually reading it. What do you think about that? Is that the same, or is it a little bit different?
Oh, it's absolutely, it's whatever works for you better. Just like some people learn by being in a class, some people learn by reading, some people learn by seeing. It's whatever works for you. I like to read, but I do find, like, when I was in school, I had to actually go to class, because as long as I was there and I was hearing it, I would retain it.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy having like a book, but I think it's whatever. They both work. You're both getting the information. I think there's so many wonderful spiritual leaders out there to read, whether it's Eckhart Tolle or Dr. Joe Dispenza. I really like his books.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn Miss. Debbie Ford has a really good book called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. If you're interested in doing shadow work,
And that was
shadow work
the quote that you mentioned earlier from Debbie Ford, right?
from her in that book. Yep. So shadow work that was my second part of healing. So after I found my gift, I still had to heal. I still had work to do. We all still do. It's not like poof, you're healed. But there's a majority of the healing that can be done, that you can become lighter. And once you're lighter, this is what I was going to talk about, is the natural frequency range. So we all have a natural frequency range. And before healing and after healing, my whole energy range shifted up. So now my normal everyday frequency is as high as what it used to be in my state of gratitude.
Oh, okay.
Prior to healing. So because it was such a weight, so when you're carrying around unprocessed emotions,
Mm-hmm.
it's heavy.
Yeah.
And it weighs your frequency range down.
Okay.
And so whatever else is in that frequency range, you can catch, whether it's a virus or a pathogen. That's how, you can be in a room where, two people get sick, but you don't.
Right.
So why is that? Because your frequency was too high, that pathogen couldn't live in your body, so it left. But that's how you attract better things in your life, because, I read the law of attraction. I love it. But if you're asking for, a $10 million payout, I think you can try attracting it all you want, but you're not going to reach that frequency. Who knows what, a $10 million frequency is like, but I don't think it's in my range yet. But all we can do is work on shifting our range up. And then you start attracting better circumstances, better synchronicities, better opportunities. That's just kind of how it works. You all know, like when you're in that high alignment state, just really good things just keep happening to you. It's almost like things, and same if you're having a bad day, then it seems like, your bad day is just perpetuated. That's all frequency related. So by increasing that range, that's one of the really good things about healing, is just really raising that whole natural range up. So your lows aren't as low. You're still going to have lows, but they're not going to be as low. And I think the message I'm getting is, as a collective in the human species, is we're all supposed to raise our frequency. Because there are a lot of low level, with all the electronics. We kind of have to rise above it and get to a more loving state collectively.
Yes, that's what I think the world needs.
So that's why it's so important.
But it got to start with healing yourself first, right?
And that's how you change the world. Like literally by changing yourself, you help heal the world. Mm-hmm. And it's very powerful. And it just starts with a decision. It just starts with, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I when I do finally go to sleep, because again, my sleeping habits is really bad. I don't even know why I stay up so late. But anyway, I like to listen to it's on YouTube. And you probably already know the 528 frequency. You don't listen to it?
Oh, the frequency. Yes, that will have. Yes,
I love it.
That's the same sound. Yeah,
it puts me. I be so calm before I go to bed. I'm trying to tell you. I love it.
That's great. You should always do that. Yeah. Well, I mean, sound therapy is a very effective energy therapy as well, because it's the same thing. It's working with frequency. And so if something's close enough to your frequency, it'll resonate and then cause entrainment. So basically what your body's doing is that frequency is close enough in your range that your body starts entraining to it. It resonates with it, and then it entrains with it. And that's, like I said, that's how good things happen and bad things. So that's how illness and disease starts, is your body is starting to entrain to a negative. Mm-hmm. That power is stronger than yours. And that's how cancer forms and different things. Mm-hmm. But the opposite can happen too. And that's why you can heal almost instantly from those type of diseases. They go into it on the documentary. is that you that's what you were doing, and that was a form of energy healing.
Oh yeah, I
You
watched
just
Dr. Sabi. He passed away, but I watched Dr. Sabi, and I've watched several things about fasting and how fasting can heal you, and like how mucus develops and how it starts a lot of diseases. Like I know exactly what you're talking about, how the body can heal you. I suggest people start looking into that before they going to the doctor and they just shove medicine at you. You know, look at it from a aspect of, is there anything that I can do to get myself healthier first?
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I do is I try to look for the root cause. So whatever's causing the depression or whatever the client's in to see me for, we try to kind of get back. We look back into their history, into their past. Where is it stemming from? What belief? It could be a belief. It could be a negative thought form that's just kind of grown. But somewhere along the line, there's a root cause. And if you can treat the root cause, you can heal. You can even heal a physical illness. But a lot of what Western medicine is about treating symptoms.
Mm.
It's not about looking at the cause of it. It's just trying to manage the symptoms. And they have a lot of side effects in itself. So I'm not saying don't go see a doctor by any means, but I would say if you're seeing a doctor, you should also go to an energy healer as well. And then maybe even, find a team, like work on the whole approach rather than just one. That's the biggest advice that I would say, because as an energy healer, people are kind of weirded out about it. Not everyone is accepting, and I get it. It's not mainstream yet. And one of my goals is to make it more mainstream, just so that more people can heal
Yeah, I mean,
and
you're
really get
a
well.
beautiful soul. I don't know why people are creeped out about it, because I mean, it could be just because they're not familiar with it. You know, people that are ignorant to certain things, they just rather shy away from it than look more into it and ask questions. But that's the only way we all learn, because we don't know everything. And a lot of the things that you discussed with me today, I didn't know before today. But thanks to you, I have a deeper insight on it. You know what I mean? And when I inboxed you, that was the first thing I said. I said, hey, I don't know about such and such, but I do know about this.
Mhm. Oh, you hit me right. I mean, when you mentioned frequency, I was like, yes, yes. Anything positive, anything to help, that is definitely what I'm about. And there's so many different ways to go about it, but it's about this. It's about talking about it and sharing knowledge, and learning from each other. I learn from you and your posts, and like I said, I only follow those that are inspirational and that I get something from,
Yeah.
that I feel, and then that energy just perpetuates.
It does, and it keeps you going. When I read something positive and I scroll down, I'm seeing all good things. It really brightens up my day. And I'm not just talking about the morning. I'm talking about afternoon, night, everything. Every time I go on my
Mhm.
page, I see inspirational posts, or I see thought-provoking posts, or just all type of things. That's all good. On your website, it says taking the step to heal is one of the biggest forms of self-love worth one can take. That is
Mhm.
amazing. You are absolutely right about that. That's one of the
Yeah.
biggest steps. That's how it starts. And that's what we've been talking about for this hour.
That's all. That, like I said, that can happen today. Maybe you won't heal today, but making that decision is so empowering.
Hmm.
You're taking your power back, and you're just making a decision.
Right.
And that decision is your power.
Hmm. Yeah. And the website is in her bio, guys. Again, that's at divine underscore radiance. And her website is divine dash radiancehealing.com. And you can basically set up a free 15-minute consultation, it says on there, just to see what it is that you're aiming for, and if you guys are a good fit for each other, and then you can just go from there to get your energy healing going.
Yes, that's
But
awesome. That's exactly what it's for. A
yeah,
15-minute consultation. Well, because you got to get a feel, And I
yeah,
would say
I
when
mean,
you
you
embark on
gotta
an
check
energy
everybody
journey,
out.
yeah, use your intuition. Because your guides will tell you, that little voice behind you will direct you to the right people to help you
Hmm.
on your journey.
And here at Positivity 123 and Friends, again, my main goal is I believe in giving people their flowers while they're still here. So I wanted to bring you on just to let you know that we really appreciate you and everything you're doing. Like, I don't know if anybody has told you, but you're doing an amazing job teaching people and just basically teaching us to be the best version of ourselves, because if you be the best version of yourself, you can help others do the same, right? And then that ultimately leads to humanity becoming a more positive place. And that's where you fit in. You're doing what you need to do as a person, and you're shifting the narrative with your page because you're bringing about all type of positive energy, and you're basically letting people know how they can better themselves. So we just really appreciate you, and I just wanted to introduce you to my followers because I really want people to follow you and just get more knowledge on the energy healing and, more about what you're about and your goals, your aspirations, and just to follow your journey because you're a beautiful soul.
As are you. I'm so honored that you asked me to be on. I really
Yeah,
was excited. So.
absolutely. I really appreciate everybody that came into the live today. I know we've been talking, but our time is about to end, and I do apologize. I wasn't able to get the questions in, but I just had such an amazing time, and we learned so much talking to Carrie today that I forgot to stop for questions. So I will have her back on soon, y'all. I
I'd love
just
to.
wanted to get all this out because everything that she's talking about are things that's really going to help us heal and become better people. And that's really, y'all know, that's really what it's about. I'm trying to better myself on a daily basis. I haven't always been the most positive person like I am today, but I took the steps to change. I recognized it was things within me that I didn't like about myself, and things that I was doing that were wrong. And I just decided to correct it and to look deeper and just, start making changes. And that's one of the reasons why I came up with my page, because I really wanted to shift my mind from being so negative and to stop being a complainer and being a person that talks about people or thinks nasty things about others.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It is. That you were able to do that. See?
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful. And look at you now. Like, it's amazing.
So do you want to
It's
share
awesome.
any last thing with anybody before we go? Well, everybody before we go.
No, just feel free to, if you have any questions about anything I said, reach out to me, DM me. I'm open. You don't have to do a session to ask. I have people ask me questions all the time. But if you're interested in a session or just even talking about what is involved in it, I would love to set up a talk with you, or
Yeah.
we can FaceTime or something. Yeah.
And
And I
everybody,
really
I'm
enjoyed
gonna
that.
upload this onto my page, and I'm gonna put her username and her information for her website on my post as well. So you guys come like and comment on the post if you enjoyed it. And like I said, go ahead and follow at divine__radiance right now. And again, just give her kudos and give her appreciation and love on her page as well. And I want you guys to continue to support her and follow her journey. Thank you again for taking the time out your busy schedule to come on and talk to me. You have taught me so much today. Again, you're so beautiful inside and out. And I just want you to continue to go and be like this light. That's what you are. You are a light in the world, and you're really showing people how to be better versions of themselves.
Thank you. And as are you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much. This is
All
so
right.
fun.
Thank you, and have a good night.
All
Bye.
right. Bye, guys.